So this was my first trip without John, so lots changed. I'm very thankful to God. The night before, about 8 o'clock, John phoned me. Jamie phoned. No, he sent a message, actually. Let me get my story straight. He sent a message. He said, send me a photo of your passport and I'll enter all the details for you, because John always used to do that for me. So I went to get my passport in my bag. It wasn't there. Never mind, I'm using a different bag this time because of my wrist. I didn't want to carry a bag with this hand, so I'd got a backpack which had numerous pockets in, so I thought I'd just put it in a different pocket. I'm going through all the pockets, no passport. I must have put it in my pull-along bag. Let me look in there. It's not in there. I start to feel pressure. I can hear John saying, always put it in the same place. Yes, John. I went through the bag again. Oh, I must have left it in the safe. Go to the safe. Not in the safe. Go back to the bedroom. Go through all the pockets again, emptying out my bag. Go to my pull-along bag. It's not there. Where did I last have it? I had it on the bed. I know I had it on the bed. Oh, perhaps it fell under the bed. It's not under the bed. I'm getting hotter and hotter. And it wasn't the heat that we have now. Where can it be? Back to the safe. Empty out the safe. And there, behind some dollars, was my passport in a wallet that I'd laid on the bed and said message to Jamie, do you want me to take any of our dollars? He said, no, I just put it all back in the safe. I was so relieved to find that. And I felt that was the beginning of God taking care of me. If Jamie hadn't have messaged me, I would have got to the airport, went to get my passport out, and it wouldn't have been there. Because I thought I'd put it in a safe place, like I was always instructed to do. So God was with me from the beginning. Our flight from Maryland was delayed, as was all our flights, apart from one, which I'll tell you about that later. So we arrived at Maryland. We had an hour and a half drive to Terry and Linda's. It was dark. Jamie had just got a new car, and there was torrential rain. The wind wipers could not take the rain off the screen. It was awful, and I felt, the passenger, my driver was going too fast. But I've learnt not to say anything to drivers. To just sit quietly and pray. But we arrived. Scary low the drive was, on the opposite side of the road, we arrived in the dark safely. By this time, it was 2 a.m. UK time, so we were pretty tired. So we'd left Goodmayes at 9 a.m. Friday and arrived at 2 a.m. Saturday. So we were ready for bed, so we went straight to bed. So every flight was delayed for us, apart from the last flight to Heathrow, which we were delayed. So we were, I think it was 3 hours leaving San Antonio, where we'd been to see John Dean. And we thought, we're never going to get this flight. And Jamie had already checked, so there was no more flights that day. We would have had to stay another night, which we didn't want to do. So we landed. As we landed, the pilot said, I'm going to get you to a gate quickly to make up the time that you've lost in this delay. Then he came on and said, there's no gate. Jamie looked at his watch. He said, they are boarding now for our flight. We were in Dallas, which is a huge airport, and with lots of different terminals, so we thought we're never going to make it. So eventually we got a gate, we get off, and we run to the train, which takes us around various terminals to the one with the house. We got off. Whenever we got to an escalator, Jamie took my carry-on bag and ran up the escalator, and I toddled on behind him. We ran, Jamie ran to the gate. I followed. And he threw his passport in, and they said, the Singletons, I was just booking you on another flight. Whew, thank goodness for that. So we got on that flight, we were the last ones to board. And again, I felt God was looking after us, and he made a way where there seemed that there wasn't any way for us to get that flight, but he was with us. I'm thanking you for praying for us. I'm praying for God's protection on our journeys, safe travel, and Jamie's going to fill you in on the time with Terry and Linda and John and Karen.
We joined Terry and his family. This is the Sunday. This is Father's Day. So that's his son Jonathan, his daughter-in-law, and their niece. And so we got to be part of that. But it was great being with Terry and Linda. They're such dear friends of ours. Things are tough, really tough for Terry and Linda. And so he goes in for this operation on his prostate because he got cancer on the 21st of July. So we're going to be praying heading up to that time and coming out of it. And our prayer is for protection from fear, for an incredibly fast recovery. One of the side effects one of the conditions of Parkinson's is hallucinations. Terry's not had any hallucinations, and we don't want him to have any. He said he's had very vivid dreams. I want those dreams to be in the presence of God. I want those vivid dreams to be beautiful dreams for him. So we had time with, I sat with Terry sometimes, and Mum went out and did nice things with Linda. And this is his setup, Terry's office. I mean, that's a kit, Mark. Bet you'd like that. So that's where he does a lot of the filming of the videos that he puts out. The story around the house and God's provision for Terry's house there, we set out because we were on a different body clock time. So 4 a.m, we were out there having coffee, watching the deer and the hummingbirds. Slightly different setup to what I've got this morning. This was over in San Antonio, so this is John Dean. So that's the first time I've actually been in the same room as John Dean. I've been with him a few times on Zoom, and his wife Karen. We had a great time with them. I must have sat in that chair listening to his stories and asking for advice for about 5 or 6 hours over the day and a half that we were there. And Mum also sat and got advice from other things while we were there as well. So part of God's economy and God's provision for us is that we can sit at the feet of giants of the faith and hear what God's done in their lives and have that poured into us as a church. And so we're very thankful for that, and we're thankful for your prayer for our travel and our trip, but we continue to look for your prayers for these guys and what God's doing.